Episode 37, Dalong Night, will start after this brief announcement. I cannot find my lapel mic anywhere, so the sound today is going to suck a little. I promise, by next episode, I'm not going to promise shit. Hopefully by next episode, I will have a new microphone and we will all be happy because you'll hear my voice the way it was meant to be heard. Now, enjoy the show. It says here that I need to stop making untoward jokes. And innuendo while calling bingo for the elderly. They clipped your wings. My God. Now how will I pass 3 pure, unadulterated hours of calling numbers without losing my mind? I mean, what even is life if you can't say something just a little fucking off color? Tell them what happened to your face. Lawnmower accident. Whatever, dick. I need a drink. Good evening, assholes. Welcome to another enigmatic episode of Before the Mast, show where I make a cocktail and share the recipe and tell you a little story. Tonight's cocktail is crafted in the theme of nautical vernacular, and another drink to prove that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Are we allowed to say that? Well, there's the funny part, kids. I don't care. Tonight we're drinking the danger shot. The danger shot is not a shot, but it could be dangerous if not handled responsibly. In nautical parlance, the danger shot is the last shot of anchor chain before you lose your anchor. It is called the danger shot because if you are in the vicinity, when it rips out of the chain locker bulkhead and goes whipping violently around the Wildcat, taking everything that's not welded down with it, you're in danger. Danger shot as a drink is one of my own invention. But it is a riff off the Smuggler's Cove recipe for the Dead Reckoning. Also a nautical term. The recipe for this drink will be down in the description. Speaking of which, while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. It'll help me help you. Do it. Do it now. I'll wait. You haven't done it yet, have you? Pathetic. Anyways, let's head to the Laka Laka Lounge and Liquor Locker to build this bitch. Clear the forecastle. We've reached the danger shot. Now shake it like you're being woken up for an emergency. Probably good. And there it is, the danger shot. See, it's red. That's good. You know, you can add this one to the list of tiki drinks that are not sweet. It's kind of got a... I mean, you can get a fruity flavor, but it's almost like grapefruit because it's got a bitter flavor. Probably because of the bitters. And that syrup really does something to it. The mint on the nose is nice. All in all, that's pretty good. Danger shot. Give it a try. Tell me what you think down in the comments. No, seriously, comment, people. Jesus, I'm drinking alone out here. Speaking of anchoring and maritime navigation and rules that pertain thereto, my trusty vessel, super ship USS McCampbell DDG 85 Ship of the Damned, all one word. A lofty title for a storied ship. Was once almost the casualty of careless Korean car carrier calamity, but for the quick actions of a couple watch team members, bosun mates, and engineers, McCampbell would have been another fatality due to ferry fury. It's true. I will be telling this story mainly from my point of view. The forecastle, where I was posted. But I will also be telling the story for other shipmates who experienced this and lived through Dalong Night. Also, we'll do a little time travel back to March of 2009, thanks to a video of the incident taken by shipmate Robert Engstad, where we will link up with Boats in the Field. Anyway, the bosun mates, yours truly included, almost lost appendages due to, well, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start from the beginning. It was a dark and stormy night in Pyongtaek, South Korea, where USS McCampbell was anchored.
Aboard USS McCampbell. Weather in Korea. Freighter closing in.
A trash barge had been brought alongside to get rid of weeks' worth of garbage accumulated while out at sea. In the anchorage next to us, a Korean car ferry named Dalong had done the maritime equivalent of parking their 1985 GMC Safari outside the lines just a little too close to our, brand new Dodge Challenger. There were some murmurs about this in the duty section, but pulling up the hook to move seemed a little excessive at the time. The sea was a little choppy, but nothing too heavy, and the anchor watches, they each kept an eye on the situation and reported to the officer of the deck the status. In addition to this, there was a litany of other watchstanders who kept an eye on the position of the ship via sight, GPS, and radar to ensure that we weren't, swinging out of our circle. And we also had a helmsman standing by on the pilot house. Well, as the night wore on, the sea got rougher. A full-blown gale had come in. It was pushing the anchored ships around like a high school bully at a middle school dance. Well, I had just crawled into my rack and was looking forward to my 2 hours of sleep for the night when one of my guys came in and got me up around 21:15. Boats! Boats! We're dragging anchor. Chief wants you up on the forecastle. Well, I climbed out of my rack, threw on my coveralls and boots. I didn't even look for my jacket. Ran to the bosun locker where there was a hatch that went up to the forecastle. I climbed out of the hatch and onto the weather decks. I was greeted by a chaotic sight that would not have been out of sight in some sort of disaster thriller movie. By my memory, I would say it was probably 40-knot winds, sideways freezing rain, sea state 1000, colder than a polar bear's ass crack. Just ahead of us was the looming, hulking, rusty mass of the Dalong ferry. We weren't dragging anchor. Dalong ferry was dragging hers. And judging by how fast she was approaching us, her anchor was made out of a helium-filled nylon bag.
Oh, they're blowing. Yeah, they're blowing right at us. The wind's very heavy. Oh shit. While I was taking in this apocalyptic sight, the collision alarm was sounding. That doesn't happen every day. Oh, fuck. I could see its anchor chain being dragged behind it, bouncing up and down like a... Don't say it. You've already been admonished once for your colorful metaphors. Well, it was being dragged. I could tell by her nav lights that she was not under steam. So she was just at the mercy of Neptune, god of the sea, who seemed to have it out for both ships at the moment. Chief Green, the chief bosun mate, was already at the anchor. It was just me and him. The dark, the rain, the cold. I told him we got to get our guys up here ASAP. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is probably as close to a quote as you're going to get 12 years later. Oh, fuck that. We got to get this anchor up before we get stood the fuck up in. Normally you need at least 4 guys to man the anchor. But we didn't have the luxury of waiting. Well, super ship USS McCampbell DDG-85 ship at the dam, being the super hot ship that she was, best ship in 7th Fleet, got steam up pretty quickly. And she was ready to make a move, except for the anchor had to be pulled up. Well, a frantic call came over to Chief Green's radio, telling us to get the anchor up pronto. I'm going to need to make another one. So, hold that thought. Well, where was I? Chief Green set the brake. We had no comms with the windlass room, so I had to yell down the hatch to them and tell them to engage the windlass. Once that was done, I grabbed the sledgehammer and prepared to remove the pelican hooks that held up the weight of the chain and the anchor. This is a dangerous evolution no matter the circumstances. The chain was under such a heavy strain that I was wondering how this was all going to play out. I didn't really have time to think about it. I hammered that pelican hook like it had called my mama a bitch. The chain jumped, flinging the pelican hook across the strike plate. You know, I hadn't had time to think about it since coming up, but it was pretty fucking cold. It was probably like 25 degrees and windy. The wind chill factor of negative 2,000. I may have embellished the wind chill, but it was colder than a witch's tit in a brass bra. So I told Chief Green to release the brake, and I simultaneously went up on the Wildcat, and the chain started coming back in. I took a moment to take in the sight. This huge car ferry heading down our starboard side, probably about 50 feet and getting closer. I thought for sure it was going to hit us.
They were coming back toward us now.
It was around that time that BM3 Ramirez and BM3 Seaton came running up the forecastle, and they took over the controls. That way I was able to run up to the bullnose and check on the status of the anchor. That's when one of the ship's whistles started to blow 5 blasts. This is essentially a ship saying, "Move, bitch! Get out the way! Get out the way, bitch! Get out the way!" What? I looked back and it looked like Dalong Ferry was so close you could touch it from our starboard side.
McCampbell, all non-decisional personnel remain inside the scouting ship.
Inbound. The fucking ferry is about to hit us.
Again?
Stern side. They're back. Nah, we're sucking them in, brother.
Station, the special scene anchor detail. Station, the special scene anchor detail.
I told Chief that the anchor was away, even though there was probably a good half a shot, maybe even more, still on deck. But I figured the anchor would be away by the time the ship started moving. I saw the bow of the ship disappear behind our stern, and I got ready for the hit. But our sleek Greyhound got us moving right in time.
I want to get a hold of somebody, but... Sir!
There they are. Successfully cleared.
Our stern began to swing to port, just narrowly missing Dalong's rusty sides. This drama hadn't quite played out, though. The trash barges were still tied off on the port side. I think there was one on the starboard side, too. I can't remember. Well, they had now begun thrashing about, smashing into the side of the ship, some sort of nautical mosh pit. I knew the lines were going to part. I saw a group of our engineering guys trying to force the Koreans onto the ship so that they would be safe. They seemed to be arguing, so they brought out Ensign Kim, the first lieutenant, who spoke Korean, to impart the desperation of the situation. Now, on the end of these barges, there were like little shacks that I guess the trash guys lived in. And the barge smashed up against the ship and like crumpled that thing like a soda can. That guy got up on the ship. There was still the other guy, and everybody was yelling at him to come up. Finally, one of the lines parted. That thing took out the other shack and cast it into the sea. Well, that was all the coaxing he needed. He climbed up that Jacob's ladder so fast. Yeah. Homie realized he better get the hell out of Dodge. They got those poor bastards onto the ship, and the barges disappeared into the darkened night. Legend has it that on blustery nights in Pyongtaek, the trash barge can still be seen roaming about for all eternity, looking for a ship to give a trashy surprise. Well, now we were heading to another anchorage as I watched the wayward ferry careening through the harbor, still trying to get a propulsion.
Yeah, they're still flowing through. It's like they're out of control.
But wait! There's more!
But we have another. Hey, watch out for these lines, guys. Yeah, we almost nailed them.
Hey, outside.
Oh shit! Clear the lines.
What happened?
Huh? Oh, we're getting sea anchor. We almost nailed a boat there, and there's another one coming at us ahead of us.
Okay. Oh, we have the, I figured out if I should be up here or wait.
There's the boat we almost nailed. As we saw earlier.
The USS John S. McCain was right in front of us, and another car ferry was inbound off the starboard side. This has become like a nautical slalom of do or die. The other ferry came within touching distance too, as we swung to miss the John S. McCain. Crisis averted. Or was it? No. No. Well, once we had gotten to a satisfactory anchorage, the order was given to drop the hook. The Wildcat was disengaged, and the brake was released, and nothing happened. This was the cue for the anchor to drop to the black watery depths, but it stubbornly stayed above the waterline. Well, I yelled down to the windlass room to make sure that the windlass was actually disengaged. They confirmed it was not. Now the pilot house was on the blower, asking what in the actual fuck was taking so long, because the anchor was supposed to be dropped like 45 seconds ago. The Navy is really into precision anchor. But that didn't matter because the Wildcat was frozen. No, literally frozen. I'm not kidding. So, I did the only thing I could think of. Well, I mercilessly beat the shit out of that chain in the Wildcat with that sledgehammer. I was like John fucking Henry laying the beat down on that chain. Finally it went, but only a little bit. Maybe like a quarter of a shot. So I started hitting the chain again, realizing that all it would take is poor timing for that chain to take that sledgehammer and probably me with it and fling us right through the bullnose. There'd be no coming back from that. I couldn't feel my hands. I couldn't feel my face. I was only holding on to this sledgehammer with pure anger and willpower, cursing out the chain with every blow. Pilot House saw this and asked what the hell was going on. Chief Green gave him the cliff notes of our dire situation. And they came back with, "Results not excuses." Well, that phrase triggered something in me. I mustered all the hate and discontent I had stockpiled from years in the military, reared back like some kind of cartoon character, dropped the hammer down on that anchor like it was Nancy Kerrigan's knee. Dalong Ferry, by the way, was moving away from us, continuing its journey to, I don't know where, the great beyond, whatever. Finally, the anchor chain went. For real this time. Once the anchor was on the bottom, I went over to Ramirez, told him I had to go to medical because I could not feel my fingers, and that he was in charge now. I couldn't move my fingers, I couldn't feel my fingers, but Ramirez and Seaton were a crew that I could rely on. As I was walking down the forecastle, the rest of my guys finally started walking up. I told them they were late to the party. I got inside and headed for medical. I had to pass through the mess decks, and I saw the Korean crew of the crap carrier sitting arguing in Korean with an officer who was arguing back in English. Things were not getting done. I got into medical where Doc Jordan was just organizing stuff or something. He looked up and said, "God, what happened to you?" My hands were dark blue. My face felt like it was on fire. And I felt like my hands were being electrocuted. And I told Jordan, I think I have frostbite. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I truly believed that I might have frostbite. And I might have. Jordan heated up a couple of hot compresses and gave it to me to thaw my hands out. It hurt. Thawing out my hands might have hurt worse than the frostbite. Yeah, the cure was worse than the disease. Oh, yeah, one more thing. I did all this with an untreated broken foot. You can hear more about that in episode 16. That's a hint. Take it. And that, kids, is the story of Dalong Night. Moral. I guess if there was a moral to this story, it would be don't park your maritime Dodge Challenger next to a maritime 1984 GMC Safari.
Raj, just so you know, small boat inbound out here.
I understand, but you know, you're not the only ones out there. Everybody else is out there who's cold too.
Got another small boat here.
Do your job.
Do my job.
Oh, and do your job. Results, not excuses. Cheers. I would like to give a special shout out to my friend and shipmate, Rob Angstadt, who supplied the video he took that night. It brought back a lot of memories for me, and made me realize that was an adventure. And if we're going by my wife's definition, an adventure is, well, it's something that is really not fun when you're going through it. But later on, it's great. That pretty much explains it. I wouldn't want to go through it again, but the story, I'll tell my grandchildren. They probably won't fucking care.
This is not zoomed in. underway and moving forward. I don't know if our barge is still pretty clear. We're underway. They are getting close. Oh shit, we might hit still. We're sucking them in. God, hard to start, guys. Hard to start. Yeah, they're starting. Oh, the other one's behind us. This is another one. Yeah, we almost hit them too. It's like friggin' hurdles out here.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. She rises early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning.
Another drink that proves there are more ways than one to skin a cat. And another drink that proves there are more ways. How the fuck do you say that? I'll drink alone anyway. It was a dark and stormy night in Pyongtaek, Korea. The southern half. Jesus. And each anchor watch kept an eye on the situation, reporting to the officer. It's because this is missing. I can't talk. I don't necessarily like my face. Apocalyptic sight, the collision alarm sounded. Collision alarm. This is good, and when you drink it with a straw, it goes by a little too quick. This drink makes me a little gassy. But it could be dangerous if not drunk responsibly. Drunk? I didn't say that. But it could be dangerous if not drunk.